All right, let's just jump right in. We often think that being successful, especially when you're under the gun, is all about some kind of natural talent, or maybe a photographic memory. But what if I told you there's a much more reliable way? What if you could actually train your brain to perform on purpose? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
Does this hit home for you? That feeling that some people just get it, and you're over here working twice as hard. Look, that frustration is the starting point. It's not about having a bad brain. It's about realizing you haven't been giving your brain the right instructions. And the journey from that feeling to having a reliable system, well, that's what this is all about.
So it really all boils down to two completely different ways of operating. On one side, you've got guessing. This is just winging it, right? Hoping you remember the right thing at the right time. It's super stressful, totally unreliable, and honestly, it's just exhausting. But then, on the other side, you've got technique. This approach is systematic, it's repeatable, and it puts you in the driver's seat. It's the difference between crossing your fingers and having a solid plan.
All right, so what in the world is a technique anyway? Let's talk about what kind of instructions our brain is actually looking for. Here it is, plain and simple. A technique is a repeatable way you train your brain to perform under pressure. Now, the two key words there are repeatable and under pressure. This is all about having a process you can fall back on when the stakes are high, whether that's an exam, a huge job interview, you name it.
So first things first, let's be super clear about what a technique isn't. It is absolutely 100% not about getting lucky. Luck is random. A technique is intentional.
And it's definitely not cheating. I know it can feel like a superpower, but it's not. Cheating is about breaking the rules. A technique is about mastering the rules of your own mind so you can work smarter within the system.
This right here is the most crucial part. A technique is just how you give your brain a clear roadmap. Instead of letting it wander around and guess, you're handing it a step-by-step game plan that it can run on autopilot.
And think about it. This isn't some crazy new idea. The highest performers in the world have been doing this forever. Athletes have a technique for a free throw. Musicians have techniques for a tough piece of music. Surgeons have very specific techniques for a delicate operation. It's time we started using them too.
Okay, so the theory is great, but how do we actually put this stuff to work? Let's start with some real, practical techniques for studying smarter so you can actually learn on purpose.
Now, this is not your middle school flashcard drill. This is a technique built around something called active recall. So first, you write down what you know from memory, no peeking. Then, step 2, you sort your cards into 2 piles, stuff you knew cold and stuff you didn't. And here's the magic. Step 3, you only study the don't know pile. As you keep repeating this, that pile gets smaller and smaller because you're laser focused on your weak spots.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It feels really good to review the things we're already confident about, but it's a total waste of time. It gives you this false sense of security. The real progress, the real learning, happens when you tackle the stuff you don't know head-on.
Okay, so our brains love patterns, but they are terrible at remembering random facts. So, the solution? Make up your own patterns. Just look at these examples for remembering IT port numbers. SSH is port 22. Why? Because the 2 S's kind of look like a 22. IMAP is 143. I looks like a 1, A looks a bit like a 4. These might sound completely ridiculous, but that's why they work. They just have to make sense to you.
So seriously, think about it for a second. What's the kind of goofy trick your brain would actually hang on to? Is it a song, a silly rhyme, a weird picture in your head? The more personal and strange it is, the more likely it is to stick. This is where you get to be creative.
All right, so you've studied the material using these techniques. Awesome. Now it's time to train for the actual performance. This is all about getting your brain ready for the pressure of game day.
Now, the phrase cheat sheet probably makes you think about last-minute, desperate cramming, right? But in this system, its main job isn't learning at all. So what do you think it could possibly be for?
It's for offloading stress. The technique is to practice writing your hardest-to-remember facts from memory over and over until you can do it without thinking. The goal isn't to learn it from the sheet. The goal is to get it out of your head and onto a piece of paper the second the test starts. That frees up all your mental bandwidth to actually focus on solving the problem.
Okay, here is a small but really powerful technique for endurance. Most of us read passively. Our eyes are just glued to the one word we're saying in our head. Active reading is different. You train your eyes to be like a scout, always looking 1 or 2 words ahead of your inner voice. It feels a little weird at first, I'll admit, but it creates this forward pull that just yanks your brain through the text and stops you from zoning out.
So we've studied, we've trained, and now it's game day. How do you pull all this together when it really counts? You do it with a routine.
Take a close look at this routine. It's not about cramming. Step 1. Review the high-level objectives, not the nitty-gritty notes. This keeps you focused on the big picture. That last cheat sheet practice? That's not for learning. It's a final confidence booster. Everything on this list, from the light meal to getting there early, is about removing stress and taking control so you can walk in calm and ready.
And this right here is the ultimate mind shift. We tend to think of calm and confidence as moods that just happen to us, but they're not. They're skills. They are the result of preparation and practice. Your game day routine is the technique you use to create calm. Your study habits are the technique you use to build confidence.
So we've gone over a lot of specific techniques here, but the final and most important step is for you to take these core ideas and start building your own system.
So I want to leave you with this question. Think about that one thing, that formula, that person's name, that little fact that you always have to look up. We all have something. That's your starting point. Don't just hope you'll remember it next time. What weird, repeatable system can you build right now to make sure you never forget it again?
And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? Talent is a nice head start. A good memory is definitely helpful. But when the clock's ticking and the pressure is cranking up, a reliable, practiced technique is what will carry you across the finish line every single time.